Hunting the Fairy Tale, Chapter 3.
Willow. Little-Piddle is beside himself with joy when I fasten the leash to his collar, and his exuberance makes the task virtually impossible to complete. We removed our bags and belongings from the car and settled in nicely. My mother decided not to have that bath until she helped us empty the car. Thankfully, or sadly, we had pitifully little to remove from the vehicle. Rather depressing. My grandmother's heavy trunk is the only thing still left to bring into the house. She kept all her sentimental and important items in there, and we added to them before we left her house. I was highly relieved when Aunt Beth suggested leaving that one to the men when they come home. Despite the car being a hatchback, it had been sheer hell loading it in, even though we'd flattened the back seat. I do not relish the ordeal of getting it out again and up the stairs. Lesson number 1.
Having men in your life could possibly be useful. To be fair, it's not a new lesson. My grandmother's butler was way more than just useful. He'd already proven that lesson multiple times throughout the years.
When I expressed my need to take the dog for a quick walk, Aunt Beth gave me directions to the park near her house. It took all the courage I could muster to decline my mother's offer to take Piddles for his walk, or at least to accompany me, and to leave the two friends to their reminiscing, snacks, and wine. My mother is exhausted after 2 days of driving. There is no way I'm dropping this chore on her. Besides, my grandmother taught me that if one doesn't face one's fears head on, as soon as one can, they build a stronghold around you and keep you locked inside. I've been locked up for far too long. 11 years to be precise. After 2 days, trapped in a car, I need fresh air, and Little-Piddle needs to, well, piddle, probably, among other things. He is restless, and my body feels stiff and rebellious. A nice walk should help us get over our draining journey, and I was assured multiple times that Briar Cove and the surrounding towns are peaceful and virtually crime-free. According to Aunt Beth, this neighborhood, Pine Hollow, is the best of them all. My mother looked nervous when she finally gave in to my insistence that I was alright to take the walk alone, and Aunt Beth's persuasion to let the girl run free and feel the wind streaming through her hair, Bex. She paused after saying that, blinking at my tightly braided hair, and then she shrugged. Well, in the loose, wispy parts. Don't be so pedantic, Rebecca Mayfair, she exclaimed, clicking her tongue, making my mother, who hadn't said a word, laugh. Her dress will flutter a bit. It will be grand. Turning to close the front door behind us, I stop, because my eyes are drawn to the enormous painting dominating the wall directly opposite the door. To my left, a staircase leads to the upper floor, and across from it, to my right, an arch opens into the large living area and the hallway to the rest of the ground floor. The wall opposite the front door, marking the end of the foyer, is slightly recessed, and the painting hangs above a half-moon table with a convenient pottery bowl for keychains. The artwork starkly contrasts with the clinical white walls on all sides of the foyer. It has a thick frame made of dark, coarse wood. Inside it, a delicately beautiful female face plays hide-and-seek amidst a war of passionate brushstrokes in dark shades, ranging from blue to green, to red to gold. There is such an avalanche of emotion caught within the frame that I feel breathless just looking at it. It's a stunning painting, but it makes me decidedly unnerved, yet I find it difficult to look away. This painting is vastly different in style from the other art I've seen decorating the house. The oval rug on the white floor picks up dark colors of the painting, as if reflecting them. I rather like the effect. Little-Piddle strains on the leash, impatient to get going, forcing me to snap out of my trance, close the door, and start our first walk in our new hometown. Becca. This is the life. A comfortable recliner, wine, snacks, and Bee's company. This is paradise. I can feel the years of stress rolling off me, slowly replaced by a warm feeling of well-being. The constant urge to cry had settled during my bath, and Beth left no room for it when she pulled me into the upstairs living room and pushed me down on this comfortable chair, straight from heaven. I'm so close to falling asleep, half sitting, half lying like this. Stretching luxuriously, I reach out to take my wine glass from the small table beside me for another sip, and nearly pour the contents all over myself when I see my friend's face. She is chewing on her lower lip, watching me with a rather worried expression. "What?" I ask, instantly on the alert. I've been programmed that way. She glances towards the door, through which Willow left us a few minutes ago, and when she looks at me again, I can see that she is searching for the right words to tell me what's on her mind. Earlier, when I was giving her a tour of her room, Willow didn't seem to know about Hunter's existence. "Why not?" she finally asked in that direct yet gentle way of hers. Even though her tone isn't judging or harsh, I still put down my glass and sit up straighter, guilt gnawing at my gut. I'm pretty used to the sensation, but I'd hoped that guilt and I would finally start to part ways a little. I'm hoping that I'll be able to regain the life we had before I became a widow and we got dragged into the Mayfair empire by my late mother-in-law. These last few years, Willow and I have drifted apart to such an extent that I have become used to hiding things from her to make life easier for her. I confess, my eyes misting again. Damn, I thought I had the constant trickle of overwhelmed tears under control now. You know how I'd always been afraid that Charlotte might not let me return to Willow each time I came here for a visit, since she did not want anything from our past to interfere with her grooming of Willow as the next CEO of her company. I found it easier to just not tell Willow things. That way, she wouldn't have to keep anything from her grandmother, or feel the loss of you and my parents too much. When I contacted you and you told me to get us over here as fast as I could, I started to tell Willow about you and your family, but Panic rises like yeast in my stomach, clogging my throat with its sour presence, and I have to stop to catch my breath. I couldn't bring myself to tell her about Hunter. I was afraid she would refuse to come and be even more terrified than she already was. I mean, Bee, I barely managed to get her out from under that table after what happened. I choke on the tears, winning the war, while uncertainty ties my nerves into knots. I had to paint the picture as favorably and as rosy as possible. I was afraid that telling her she'd be sharing a house with an 18-year-old young man might drive her right back under a table. I thought it best if she just met him and saw for herself how lovely he is. He really is lovely, Bee. He is growing up to be a wonderful young man. I saw that each time he came with you to see me in Mount Sovereign. I thought that meeting him with you around would... Was it really wisdom that kept me from telling Willow? Or was I just being a coward? Oh, my soul! I exclaim. I messed up again, didn't I? Beth reaches over to me and grabs my hand, her fingers warm and soft, gently squeezing and releasing mine. No, Bex, it's all good, she soothes me. You might have made the right choice. You probably spared her a lot of unnecessary anguish. We can gently introduce them to each other in a safe environment, and she'll be fine. She'll see that Hunter is a kind, gentle person, and she'll be perfectly alright. It's all good. Beth's smile is encouraging, but I cannot stop myself from being worried. When she releases my hand, I reach for my wine glass again and drain its contents, desperate to get the warm, fuzzy feelings to return. She's right, of course. Willow will meet Hunter, and she'll see that there are men on this planet who are down to earth, sweet and gentle, and she'll be just fine. She'll see how awesome he is, fall in love, and give us a bunch of chubby, happy grandbabies to love. I'm so glad my glass is empty when B's declaration causes me to choke on the last sip. Willow. The street is lined with pretty houses that seem almost fictional in their perfection. They're remarkably similar in design to what I've seen on postcards of places like the Alps. Beautiful. Though cooler in climate, it feels much warmer and more welcoming than the area I grew up in. It is also a far cry from the dark neighborhood from which my mother and I have recently escaped. I see no sinister alleys, smelly dumpsters, suspicious puddles, lurkers. There is only sunlight, manicured lawns, and pristine paving. Even the Drake's intricately carved wooden fence is decorative, rather than meant for security. The air is fresh with the smell of pine trees and the ocean, and alive with the sound of children playing. Life is definitely looking up. I turn the corner, basically dragged there by Piddles, whose excitement is gradually mounting. He must be catching a whiff of all the dogs that use the vast park stretching out in front of us. Tall trees, well-kept flower beds, extensive lawn stretches, and clean benches. I've discovered heaven's location. How lovely! Crossing the street, we enter the park, and Little-Piddle begins his message exchange routine as soon as we reach the first tree. He sniffs the base of the tree, leaves a few drops of his own, and drags us human to the next tree or shrub. Rinse and repeat. I often escaped from my grandmother's strict rules by taking her dog for a walk. I'm used to his procedure, and I'm not feeling impatient for him to do his thing and get on with it. I simply let him guide me to where he wants to go. Slightly off center is a large pond with water cascading at intervals from hidden pipes. The pond flows off into a narrow stream at its furthest bank, crossing underneath a small pedestrian bridge. From where I am, I cannot determine where the stream goes from there. The trees and vegetation are too thick on that side of the pond. Near me, duck families are enjoying the serenity of the calm water. I can even see a couple of swans, white ones and black ones. Beautiful! I cannot stop smiling as my eyes take in every detail of the postcard lovely scene. I've found the tranquility cloud again. It is floating me even higher than before, clearing my mind, lifting my spirits. And then a solid wall crashes into me, knocking the breath from my lungs. The wall grunts a pretty harsh word, and I cannot even begin to comprehend the sudden, jarring sensation of being forcefully wrapped in a tight embrace. Frightening as it is, it stops me from being knocked down and injured by the force of the collision. I am too startled and winded to scream at the sudden, unexpected invasion. I can feel my feet leaving the ground, and before I can resist, I'm being deposited in the shelter of a tree a couple of steps away. The arms release me, replaced by hands insistently pushing down at my shoulders. as if afraid that I'd float off into the air if I'm not weighed down. "You'll get hurt." The voice is gruff and the speaker sounds out of breath, either from the fright of the sudden impact or exhaustion. I'm not sure if it is meant as a threat or a warning. Dark eyes give me a once-over, and I don't know if it is to assess the damage already done or the possible damage he could inflict. I would have been screaming right now if I were still breathing. Through my confusion and terror, I'm vaguely aware of messy dark hair and dirt-streaked skin. There is a small, shallow cut just beneath one of the intense eyes glaring into mine. From it, blood is seeping to the surface, but it doesn't seem to bother the owner. His entire face is covered in dirt, scrapes, and what appears to be blood. It doesn't even seem to be his own blood either. He is gone as fast as he appeared, picked me up, and planted me out of the way of what I can now see might be a full-on gang brawl. I'm trembling uncontrollably in the aftermath of the collision, my body jerking with violent spasms. Gasping for breath, I frantically look around me. Too many raw memories and suppressed emotions are bubbling to the surface, threatening to flood my senses. I actively had to fight the urge to crouch down and hug myself. I'm on the verge of having a full-on panic attack. "Not now. Not here. Breathe. You didn't bring your pills. Just breathe." There are other people in the park, and some of them are watching the fight. I'm surprised to see that many of them are girls. Gangster groupies? Other park users seem to be oblivious to the brawl taking place near them. Are the people of Briar Cove used to this kind of thing? I recently lived in a positively rough area, and I find the battle frightening. It is hard to believe that I've been so engrossed in the beauty around me that I didn't even hear the grunts and exclamations of pain, the impact of fists and well-placed kicks. I hear them now, loudly. My built-in vigilance is slipping. As far as I can tell, there are about 8 young men taking part in the battle, and they seem to be hell-bent on killing each other. With numb fingers, I'd struggle to pull my phone from the small purse hanging around my shoulder, while Little-Piddle is jumping around at my feet, hysterically cheering on the fight. Apparently, being dragged to the tree due to the invader carrying me had no adverse effects on him at all. I slip around the tree, out of sight, I hope, and press my stomach against the abrasive trunk, peeking past it to keep my eyes on the fight. I do not want another surprise. I know I should probably be running home, but in my panic, I cannot quite remember which street I entered the park from. There are too many possibilities around. Do all the roads in Briar Cove end at this park? I don't want to run around willy-nilly reading street names. My phone's GPS never functions properly. It will likely get me completely lost if I try to use it. I want to do the next best thing, but I'm having trouble steadying my hands enough to call the police. I'm about to succeed when I notice it. A ball. I lower the phone and step out from behind the tree to get a better look. Are they at war over a ball? Laughter? I can now also hear cheers among the cussing and shouting. If it weren't for the flying fists, the kicking, the wrestling, and the blood, this could pass for a very lively ball game of some kind. Actually, it is an excessively lively ball game of some kind. Most of my panic begins to subside, draining away, leaving me nauseous and lightheaded in its wake. I cannot discern any rules being applied here, except that trees on either side of the war zone seem to represent the goals. There are 4 or 5 young men on each side, and the game appears to involve reaching the correct trees with the ball, and murdering each other to prevent anybody from reaching those trees. Glad I didn't manage to call the police, I slide the phone back to my purse. Without realizing it, I'd somehow wandered right into the violent match. I could be dead right now. I'm not sure which of the disheveled, filthy warriors is the one who'd save me. I'm not entirely sure that I want to find him either. Besides, it's not really possible to do in the mud-covered flurry of movement. I should probably thank him, though. Instead, I grab my overexcited dog and run to the farthest section of the park, way out of reach of the violence. Piddles doesn't protest a change of venue. New trees mean new messages after all. I suddenly wish he'd just do what he needs to do so we can go home. I'm still shaking like a reed caught in a strong wind. The disappointment I'm experiencing is crushing. There is, after all, no such place as a peaceful paradise. Every place on earth has its thorns, and Briar Cove's thorns seem to consist of extremely violent gangsters who take over the park to play murder ball. Well, they are focusing their violence solely on each other, and there don't seem to be any weapons involved. One fighter even got me out of the way. Roughly. It did hurt a little. I probably have a couple of bruises, and my clothes must be horribly stained. But still, he'd saved me. That, at least, counts for something, right? I impatiently pull a special, compostable dog poop bag from my purse and wave it at the dog as if doing so will encourage him to hurry up. He ignores me, of course, lifting his leg against the millionth tree. He is having a ball. I'm not. I'm still not entirely convinced that the violence on the other side of the park will not spread out and become a full-on war with civilians as victims. Yes, a ball is involved, but that doesn't mean it's just a game. It certainly didn't look like just a game. I'm still rattled. The panic has receded, but it hasn't gone far away. What's left of it is starting to turn into anger. My heart is still beating way too fast. I'll never be able to get the overwhelming sensation of being hugged like that out of my mind. He didn't hold me down against my will, and as far as I could tell, he didn't try to hurt me. I know what it feels like when someone actually tries to hurt you. Still, he was so big, and the strength I'd felt in his arms brought back too many unwanted memories. I'm a hair's breadth away from hiding in the barrel hanging under the jungle gym near me. The only thing stopping me from doing so are the children currently playing there, and the dog lifting his leg against another bush. Seriously, Piddles, I suddenly snap, surprising myself. How much pee could there possibly be in that small body? Take a dump and get on with it. I want to get out of here. Appalled, I bite my lip and glance around to see if anybody heard what I just said. It's entirely out of character for me to speak like that. What goes on in my mind and comes out of my mouth doesn't usually synchronize quite like that. I have an intricate, overdeveloped filter between my brain and my mouth. For once, it didn't sound as if I was trying to teach a class on English vocabulary and diction. The teachers at Mount Sovereign Academy for Girls would be appalled if they heard me. The teachers of Mount Sovereign are out of my life now. Thank God. So are the students. Thank him even more. Listening to myself. So is the girl I used to be. Is that another thing to be thankful for?
Next time on Hunting the Fairy Tale.
Gross. Stop that. Hell knows where that tongue's been. His voice is in the lower tone ranges. Not quite what I expected. Willow Warrior is feeling nervous again, ready to admit defeat and run back to the kitchen. Or better yet, her bed. Hunter sounds too male. But there's a husky gentleness to his voice that sets me at ease enough to forge ahead. A little slower. Yes. I'm forging ahead in slow motion now. Gathering all my courage, I step out of the space between the living area and the study to enter the foyer, and my greeting dies unuttered in my throat.